In a dreamlike trance, Princess Genevieve danced all night with a handsome prince. She danced so long that evening that her shoes became tattered and worn. When her father discovered the worn-out dancing shoes, he was furious.
I gave you a new pair of shoes yesterday, and by today they're completely worn through. You've been dancing again, haven't you? Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Speak up.
I'm sorry, Father.
Sorry? You said you were sorry the last time this happened, and still you defied me again. As for you two, why did you stand by and say nothing while your sister was disobeying me?
We were sound asleep, Father.
So you see, we couldn't possibly have known that she'd gone.
I see. Well, Genevieve, you still haven't explained to me how you could go through a pair of shoes in a single evening. Well, if silence is your only answer, then you leave me little choice. From this day forward, I shall post a guard around the castle to make certain you do not leave here without my knowledge.
Yes, Father.
That very evening, in spite of what the king had told her, Genevieve once again readied herself with a beautiful gown and a pair of new shoes for another night of dancing.
Is that you, Genevieve?
I don't believe it. You're going dancing again. Don't worry, we promise not to tell Father. That is, as long as you take us with you.
What?
We want to be able to dance through the night and have fun just like you. It's only fair, you know.
Oh, please, Genevieve, please take us with you.
But you don't know what you're asking for. Father always finds out, and besides, it's so exhausting.
But you still go, so it must be wonderful. I think it's dreadful of you to be having so much fun and not wanting to share it with your sisters.
Please. Very well, but hurry. I don't want to be late.
And so, once again, Genevieve defied her father's orders. Only this time, her sisters Louise and Julia spent the night dancing as well. The next morning, the three princesses slept well past the call for breakfast, which angered the king terribly.
Wake up, daughters. It's too late to be sleeping. Huh? I can't believe it. All three pairs of shoes are tattered. All of them defy me now. Wake up right this minute. You three are awfully quiet this afternoon. What's the matter? Is the food not to your liking? You've hardly touched a bite.
I don't have much of an appetite today.
Neither do I, Father.
It's not polite to yawn at the table.
I'm so tired I can hardly stay awake.
Enough is enough. I want one of you to tell me the truth. Where is it that you went dancing last night?
We never left the castle, Father.
You expect me to believe that?
Oh, but I'm telling you the truth.
Then you three won't mind if I lock the door to your bedroom every night from now on to make sure you don't go anywhere. Or do you find that too harsh?
Not at all, Father. We don't mind.
Then so be it. There. Now, since there's no way for you to leave your room, I expect all of you to get a good night's sleep tonight.
Good night,
Father.
Good night.
The three princesses were locked fast in their rooms. The door was heavy and the lock strong. There would be no leaving the castle this night. Just to be safe, the king himself guarded the key by wearing it on his wrist while he slept. The next morning, bright and early as promised, the king made his way to the locked bedroom to let the princesses out for the day, confident that he had solved the problem of his dancing daughters.
Still asleep? I thought I told you girls to... What happened to your shoes? How could this be? They're completely worn out. But how could they have gotten out of this room to go dancing? The door was locked. Enough!
I have a message from our beloved king. The royal princesses have a problem which worries the king, and he requires everyone's help.
I'd be happy to help.
Tell us what we can do.
Each night, the princesses have been sneaking from the castle to go dancing. If any man in the kingdom can manage to find out where exactly the princesses go off to, he can marry the princess of his choice. However, if a man tries for 3 days and fails, he will be locked in the dungeon as a criminal. For the king has no patience for fools. Now, which one of you brave men shall be the first to volunteer?
I will take up the challenge.
What makes you think you'll succeed?
How difficult could it possibly be to keep track of 3 princesses? Well, I'll have this princess problem taken care of in no time. Come.
That night, the nobleman prepared to keep watch over the princesses. He checked and rechecked every door and window to be sure the 3 young ladies would not be able to escape the castle. He looked under the beds and checked the ceiling and floor for secret doors. Even the chandelier was not beyond suspicion.
Everything seems to be in order.
Of course, I've checked this room myself. Now you understand what's expected of you. You'll sit over there in that chair. The door to the bedroom will remain open so that you can see in at all times. All you have to do is stay awake and catch them if they try to leave.
I do not see how I can fail, sire.
My daughters are very clever.
Don't worry, Your Highness. I'm a clever one myself. You might as well start planning the wedding, sire. Me, a prince.
You'll be prince of the dungeon if you don't succeed. Good night, sir.
Oh, Genevieve, what are we going to do? With him sitting there, we won't be able to dance tonight.
Well, 3 princesses to choose from. How delightful.
If we don't go tonight, they may get angry and leave and never dance with us again.
You're right.
As bedtime approached, the 3 sisters realized they would have to trick the nobleman into falling asleep. They decided a cup of wine, mixed with a sleeping potion, would do the trick.
And where do you think you're going?
Nowhere, good sir. I have come to see if you might like a cup of wine.
Ah, thank you, my dear.
I'm sure you'll be an honorable husband for one of us. I drink to your good health, kind sir.
Perhaps you shall be the lucky one.
I must be off to bed now. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
I hope you don't have any trouble staying awake.
I never have trouble staying awake, especially when it's important.
Look, the potion is working already.
Yes.
What's the matter with me? I can't stay awake.
How soon can we leave?
Right away.
Just as they had done night after night, the princesses danced with their mysterious partners. Their eyes were sunken as if they were locked in a trance. They knew that they would be exhausted the next morning and that their father, the king, would be angry with them. But the need to dance with these mysterious men overwhelmed all of their reason. They simply could not help themselves. For hours they continued dancing, never speaking, never stopping, only dancing until their shoes were once again tattered and worn.
All you had to do was stay awake for one night, and you couldn't even do that. Now we'll get to find out how well you can sleep in a dungeon.
Many weeks passed, and many tried to learn the princess's secret, but all failed and ended up in the dungeon. Then one day a stranger came to the kingdom, a wounded soldier named Peter.
This is very interesting. A royal wedding for he who solves the mystery? Excuse me, sir.
What is it?
Can you explain this mystery to me?
If I were you, I'd forget that I ever read that notice. Everyone who has tried to solve the mystery of the dancing princesses has ended up in the dungeon. There's bad magic at work here, if you ask me. You wouldn't want to end up in the dungeon, would you?
Well, I've never been fond of dungeons, and as you can see, I've recently been wounded, but how difficult could it really be to guard 3 young princesses? The fact that no one else has been able to do it makes me very interested.
Well, in that case, good luck to you.
I believe I'll go to the castle right now.
And so that night, young Peter sat outside the princess's bedroom, determined not to fail.
This seems so easy, but all the others failed. There must be some detail here that everyone missed.
I have brought you some refreshment to make your night more pleasant. I know how difficult it must be to stay awake when everyone else is asleep.
That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Here's to you. May you live a long and happy life.
The same to you, milady.
Good night.
I'm very grateful, Princess. I hope that you sleep well. Wait a minute. Why are they so concerned about my well-being when I'm here to stop them from leaving? They must have put something in this wine. I'll play along with them. Well, it smells wonderful. Thank you. This is the best wine I've ever tasted. It must be from the king's private collection, a truly royal wine. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Oh, what's happening to me? I feel so sleepy.
I can't believe it. He's already asleep.
Well, maybe we should wait until we're really sure.
He's good looking. It's a shame he'll be going to the dungeon.
We have princes waiting for us. Come along. Wait, I'd better close the door.
Hurry, they're waiting.
Ouch.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks. What dress are you going to wear, ladies?
This one, I'm ready.
Me too. Say the magic words now.
All right. Spirits from beneath the floor, open now your magic door.
Suddenly a light appeared upon the floor and stretched across the room until it created a door which, when opened, revealed a stairway leading deep below the castle.
Hurry now.
Aha! A secret passage. I guess this isn't going to be as easy as I thought. Well, here I go.
Peter followed the three down the long staircase. One by one, the princesses fell into a deep and magic trance.
I can't believe how fast they're moving down. It's like they're floating. It's like it's magic.
Peter ran as fast as he could, but he was no match for the floating princesses. He found himself in an enchanted forest, where the trees were covered with leaves made of silver.
What a strange-looking tree. It's incredible. The leaves are pure silver. I'll take some back or the king will never believe me.
Peter continued in pursuit of the princesses, this time into a grove of gold.
First silver, now gold.
The princesses continued their journey without stopping. Peter, running as fast as he could, managed to catch up with them as they were leaving the diamond forest.
Now the leaves have turned to diamonds.
Just outside the diamond forest was a moat. There awaited the three who had danced with the princesses before. They waited patiently until the princesses arrived. Then they rowed away from shore. Peter arrived too late to stop them.
Stop!
As Peter looked out across the water, he saw the darkness of the moat transform into a beautiful castle with golden rooftops.
Well, it looks as though I'm going to have to do some swimming. Whoa! That water's moving awfully fast. I guess I'll have to come up with another way to get to the castle.
That cloak belongs to me.
That's not fair. I want the cloak that makes things invisible. You can keep the shoes that will take you wherever you ask, but you can't have them both.
They both belong to me, little man.
Oh, yeah?
Now I know how to get into the castle.
Besides, you can have your pick of the princess's clothes. You know that tonight is the night that they'll become prisoners of their princes. Those three won't be needing their pretty dresses and jewels when they're scrubbing the castle floors.
They're in danger. What can I do?
I don't care about any dresses. I want the cloak.
Of all the stubborn men I know, Hey, who's that?
It's only me, gentlemen.
Who are you? I've never seen you before.
Me either. Who are you?
I'm here to make the chains for the new princess prisoners.
That's a likely story.
Easy, friend. I'm not here to fight with you. I just happened to be passing by when I heard you two arguing.
And you must be the master's new helper, the one who arrived only last week.
Yes, my name is Peter.
All right. But what is it that you want?
Well, I've come up with a fair way to decide which one of you gets to keep the magic cloak and shoes.
What is it?
It's really very simple. All the two of you have to do is step 25 paces away from the cloak and shoes. Then, when I give you the signal, you race back to where the cloak and shoes are. Whoever gets there first gets to keep the prize. Don't you think that that's fair?
Very fair. I'd be certain to win.
What do you mean, certain to win? You couldn't beat me if you tried. Let's race.
As you wish.
Right.
Ready?
Go!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Peter's plan was working even better than he expected. As soon as the two strangers were well out of sight and were concentrating on the race, Peter would grab the cloak, make himself invisible, and use the shoes to take him to the princesses.
I'm ready.
Yeah, so am I.
On your mark, get set, go! It's almost time to make my move. Thank you, gentlemen. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm totally invisible. What's happening to those two? Oh my, they're really monsters in human form. That means the so-called princes that the princesses are with are probably monsters too. I have to save them. I'll use the shoes to get there. Shoes of fancy, fly away. I've princesses to save today.
I'm so happy.
And you should be happy always. I want you to stay with me, Genevieve, and dance with me forever. Will you stay?
Yes, forever.
As soon as the princess agreed to stay, she fell into an even deeper trance. Peter landed in the nearby garden and, still invisible, made his way to the ballroom. He watched as each of the princesses fell into deep trances and their shoes became tattered and worn. Peter moved in even closer. Suddenly, he saw a terrible sight.
They're horrible.
The cloak not only made Peter invisible, but allowed him to see things as they really were. The dancers were indeed hideous monsters. They had caught Princess Genevieve and her sisters in their spell and were preparing to make them prisoners forever.
Princess Genevieve, wake up! He's not a prince. None of them are princes. They're monsters. Wake up and look at them. You beasts, leave the princesses alone. Take me instead. Whoa. Listen, Shoes, I must get clear. Take me to the chandelier.
Peter was immediately lifted high into the air, where he could cut the rope on which the chandelier hung. The sound of the crash shook the princesses out of their trances.
Run, ladies, run!
You can't escape.
This should get their attention.
Let me go!
Come with me.
What's happening? Huh?
Don't stop, run!
Something keeps grabbing me.
Hold it right there.
How are we going to cross the moat?
They'll be here any minute. What are we going to do?
I'll take you across. Grab hold, Genevieve.
What?
Just turn around. Magic Shoes, we have no boat. Take us all across the moat. Don't worry, I got you. There you go.
Thank you. But who are
No
you?
time to talk. Run!
Hurry, I hear them coming.
Oh, dear. Where do we go? Quick, this way. Hurry.
Oh, no.
The trees, which were once covered by diamonds, were now a swarm with hideous creatures.
Oh, no.
Leave them alone!
Don't look back.
No one moves. Get back. Shoes, fly away.
The princesses ran as fast as they could. Their monstrous dance partners were not far behind. The forest had turned evil. The silver and gold that once covered the trees were replaced by snakes and bats.
There, keep running.
Exhausted, the princesses finally reached the long staircase which led to their room.
I don't think I can make it up the stairs.
You have to make it. Now get going. Go. Oh, no, you don't. Take that. Oh, no, I'm losing the cloak.
Hurry, just a little farther.
Get out. Don't wait for me.
It's that young soldier. Huh? Oh no, look out behind you! Fast, the stairs are sinking, hurry!
You'll never make it.
Run for your life! Jump! Hold on, I'll help you!
Get out of here.
He's slipping!
Help her, Louise.
Closed door. Oh, thank heavens you made it.
You saved our lives.
Oh, dear. We've got to hold them in. I'm to blame. I brought them. If it weren't for me, we're all to blame.
No one's to blame. They tricked you into going with them.
Oh, why won't they stop?
We got them.
As the first rays of morning light began to shine upon the castle, the demons slowly faded away, never to return again.
I think they're gone. We're
made it.
saved.
We made
Oh, Genevieve. Oh, I'm very grateful to you. And sorry we tried to trick you.
Forget it.
Well, Peter, can you tell me where my daughters have been dancing?
Yes, Your Majesty. Your daughters were tricked by the magic of evil spirits who forced them to dance in an underground palace night after night.
What? Do you have proof that this palace is real?
I do, sire. I brought these for proof. They came from the forest outside the palace.
Gold, silver, and diamonds. I can't believe it.
Please, consider these my gift to you, Your Highness.
It is I who should give to you.
No, Your Highness, I wish only what was promised in your challenge, your daughter's hand in marriage, if Genevieve will have me.
Well,
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
then you two shall be married. We'll have a big celebration, for I not only have my daughters back, but a fine and brave son-in-law as well. I'll even release the others who failed the challenge. Come, there is much to do.
And so Peter and Genevieve were married in the most beautiful wedding the kingdom had ever known. The marriage became a long and happy one, full of joy, laughter, and of course, dancing.